The president's congestive heart failure is getting worse. I'm a home health physical therapist with a doctorate in my field. I see congestive heart failure patients on a daily basis. The reason I know that he has congestive heart failure is because of the swelling in his feet and ankle. Kidney injury was caused by nephrotoxic medications, namely diuretics, spironolactone, Umex, Lasix. The president is definitely getting sicker, and we know he's not going to change his diet because he's such a fucking idiot. I think he's going to be around for 6 to 8 months tops.
Trump did fuel the fire by writing just this weekend that his mental stability is a great asset and he is a very stable genius.
President Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Yep.
Donald Trump and his health has been a hot topic, and I'd like to talk about it because I am qualified to talk about it.
Yes. Are we watching elder abuse in the White House and beyond? This is something we need to think about deeply because it's a few months into Trump's presidency and there are a lot of speculations and rumors about his health. And this is not new. Just a few years back, we experienced the same thing, and if we thought that was the only time, then we are joking, because in the US and around the world, we are seeing a reoccurring theme of presidents aging well into their 90s and either still running for president or still ruling, or some of them extremely sick and in serious critical medical conditions but still holding their positions. What can we call that? Elder abuse? The US Constitution says you must be at least 35 years old to be president, but it never said anything about too old or too sick. And lately, it feels less like democracy and more like elder abuse. In my perspective, from Washington to Africa, we are watching frail leaders cling to power under the harshest spotlights on earth. This isn't about intelligence, because when I talk about something like this, people would think I'm talking about intelligence. That is a whole new kind of warmth. We can open it in another discussion, but today we want to focus on dignity, health, and transparency. Biden, diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer in 2025, Trump declared in excellent health, yet seen with makeup covering bruises, swollen ankles, and a stiff gait. And in Cameroon, 92-year-old President Biya, rarely seen in public, announced he's running for an 8th term. Around the world, leaders are aging visibly but refusing to let go. The founders wrote a minimum age, 35, but no maximum. So technically, a 95-year-old could take the oath tomorrow, and history proves it. Health problems have always been hidden. Roosevelt's wheelchair stayed off camera. Eisenhower had multiple heart attacks in office. Even in a younger leader, the temptation to hide illnesses for political reasons is nothing new. Kennedy, young and vibrant, yet he was secretly fighting Addison's disease. Reagan showed signs of Alzheimer's late into his presidency. From the beginning, health secrecies have always been a feature of power and presidencies. And it's not just in America. This pattern is global. Winston Churchill led Britain through World War II despite suffering multiple strokes. Russia's Vladimir Putin has cultivated a public image of strength despite persistent rumors about his health. Pope John Paul II continued his duties even as he was visibly afflicted with Parkinson's disease. In many parts of the world, a leader's health is often a tightly guarded state secret. Across continents, leaders cling to power even as their bodies fail. This is a concern. This isn't about intelligence. It's about transparency and the physical demands of leadership. We've seen both President Biden and Donald Trump, the oldest presidents in US history, face questions about their health. I remember a few years ago when people were having rumors about President Biden's health. A lot of concerns were raised about how stable and how he is concerning his ability to rule. But then those were swept under the rug. But Biden's story is striking. For months, his team and much of the media shielded his decline, limiting access and downplaying concerns. As the book Original Sin reveals, even senior staff were kept in the dark. But then, after a disastrous June 2024 debate, did the truth break through? By then, it was too late. Biden refused to step down until July 22nd. Then Kamala Harris, just days to piece together a national campaign, she spent hours calling over 100 Democratic leaders, scrambling for support. But it wasn't enough. The cover-up didn't just betray Biden. It doomed Harris and cost the Democrats the election. But then, everybody was scrambling to hide all the struggles he went through. And even Jake Tapper, who came out with the book Original Sin months later, you knew about these concerns long ago, but you had to wait until he's well out of office for you to drop a book when he says he has cancer. Come on, man. That is crazy. Unethical, to say the least. The case of President Biden brought this issue to the forefront. The debate centered on whether voters were getting a full picture. While some argued that medical information should remain private, others contend that a leader's health is a matter of national security and the voters deserve complete transparency. Similarly, President Donald Trump's health has seen a topic of intense and media scrutiny. While his official medical reports have often stated he is in excellent health, his public appearances have sometimes raised questions. This dynamic highlights a critical issue. In the absence of a constitutional mandate for full medical disclosure, the public is often left to speculate based on media reports and personal observations. If it happened anywhere else, we will call this elder abuse, forcing frail seniors into impossible roles while hiding their struggles. But in politics, we call it strategy, the cost, though in human dignity and national trust. And then there's Trump, at 79, diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, a vein condition that causes swelling and bruising. Doctor says it's common, non-life-threatening, but his frequent bruising, covered with makeup, and his stiff walk have fueled speculations. Some physicians warn those symptoms could also suggest deeper issues, from heart diseases to kidney stress. Once again, the problem isn't just the health, it's the secrecy. And look at Africa. Paul Biya, 92, rarely appears in public, yet runs for re-election after 42 years in power. Yoweri Museveni, 80, has ruled Uganda since 1986, planning another term in 2026. Ali Bongo of Gabon once governed for months from a hospital bed after a stroke. Across Africa, leaders' health are treated as a state secret. Reporters silence, rumors rampant, citizens left in the dark, and if you say a word, you are doomed. The question is, does the system enable them to stay in power, and what are the consequences of them staying there as long as they do? Why do frail leaders cling to power? So why? 5 reasons could be some of the things people suggest. Fear of persecutions. Some people fear that leaving office could mean facing trials or revenge. The second reason could be legacy chasing. Some leaders want to be immortalized in history no matter the toll it takes on their health and their dignity while they do it. Some of them party pressure. Institutions are too weak. Parties prefer a familiar face over risking new blood. So what would they do? They abuse an elderly person till he dies because they want him to stay in power and they don't want to nurse a new person to take over from his position. Another one is the cult of personality. When supporters believe no one else can lead, leaders become irreplaceable idols. They stay there right into their deathbeds, and some will even rule while they are dead. I don't mention no names here, but let's keep on. Another reason could be no succession planning. For example, Biden delayed too long, leaving Harris unprepared. African strong men often avoid grooming heirs for fear of losing control. And what happens? The nations pay the price of such ill-preparedness. What are the ethical and constitutional questions we are asking here? So what do we call this? Leadership or selfishness? Elder statesmanship or elder abuse? If we were to apply the term elder abuse to a workplace, it would mean putting a vulnerable individual under immense stress without providing adequate care or protection. By this definition, is it elder abuse when a political party, voters, or the system itself continually push elders into a role that is physically and mentally demanding, often without full transparency about their health? Is the desire for continuity or experience overriding the need for physical and cognitive fitness? And I know there are a lot of cognitive abilities we can talk about when we are talking about the aging of a president or his health overall, but that is a conversation for another day. In this conversation, I would like us to look at physically older presidents who are physically old and can be seen struggling while in public. So what's the solution? Should we demand full medical transparency from all presidential candidates? Should a constitutional amendment be considered to set an age cap for the presidency? Or would that be a form of ageism, unjustly disqualifying experienced individuals? What's the greater risk? Hiding health issues from the public or imposing an arbitrary age limit that would prevent a highly qualified person from leading? Should Democrats mandate full medical transparency? Should there be an age cap, or is that ageist? And if we keep prioritizing secrecy over honesty, what does it say about our political systems? What do you think? Is America and the world enabling elder abuse by hiding our leaders' decline? Or is it wrong to limit leadership by age? Let me know in the comment section. And if you want more bold conversations and on power, politics, and truth, hit the subscribe button, because not everything is easy to see, but those who open their eyes will pick it up while it is still in the past. Until the next time, bye.